morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Mishka.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
How does it feel coming back to school?
It feels marvelous. This is my place, it's my family. So I love coming back here.
It's a pleasure to see you back.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be back.
So I was thinking, I always wondered in your class, how do you manage to teach a classroom full of students where everyone is not interested in history as per, and most of my friends, they usually find history a little boring. So how do you overcome that challenge?
You know, Mishka, the history is basically, like they say, geography is about maps, history is about chaps. It's about people.
It is.
And when you teach history as a story, and that's what it is, it's a civilizational story which is carried on for generations. So when you teach it as a story, it becomes interesting. So you look into the passions and the loves and the fighting, and you see the wars. You see all this about human beings and humankind. So that gives you a kind of mirror into the past. So that's why it becomes fun.
I remember your anecdotes between our classes, and I think that's one of my highlights from class 10th. We spent a year together. So while we are focusing so much on AI and future, how do you think history is still relevant to us?
I think AI is a magnificent tool because you can bring to life something that you could only visualize in your mind's eye after reading. Today you can see it happening. With AI you can recreate people, you can recreate battles, you can recreate characters, events, incidents. So AI becomes a fantastic tool to use for history, for teaching history.
So you think AI and history would make a good subject,
I
maybe
think
in the future?
It makes an excellent combination.
It does?
It's an excellent combination.
You were also a teacher of political science. So how have you seen the definition of democracy develop over the years in our textbooks and in practice as well?
I think democracy is an ongoing process. It never remains static. So what tends to happen is it keeps changing. So like human beings evolve, democracy evolves. The idea of democracy evolves. So you might find popularity as a part of democracy. You might find people's protesting as a part of democracy. You might find people agreeing with some people as a part of democracy. You might find people disagreeing with people as a part of democracy. But everything is allowed. So as they put it, the very famous saying comes in that I will maybe disagree with you, but I will support your right to say it. So your right to speech and your right to expression, that remains sacrosanct in a democracy, which is very important. So it's an evolving process, it continues.
It does. Like the definition of democracy, I remember reading about democracy in class 6, and I remember reading about democracy in class 10th, and I think we have evolved over the years. Even our political systems, our political parties, they have adopted new policies to adapt the surroundings. So do you think political science is something that should be compulsory for everyone?
Actually, yes. Because why? Man is basically a political being, and he's a social being, and he's going to live in a kind of political setup. So it's very important to have, I wouldn't put it as political science, as a complete empirical science, but I would put it definitely as citizenship.
Okay.
Learning citizenship is very important for every individual and every citizen of this country, even from nursery onwards. Right from the junior most age, you must learn what citizenship means, and that makes you a better participant in a democracy and makes you a more aware participant in a democracy, and that makes you very valuable.
It does. But in today's world, we see so many people misusing their rights, and we see popularity taking over certain people's rights.
Yes.
So how is your take on that?
Popularity will always be there. Democracy is a process in which people are involved. It can become a mobocracy, going on to a mob rule very quickly. But it's very important that you have good leaders. And that's what the school system really matters, where it matters, because your leadership skills are learnt in school.
Yes.
So that's where you hone good talent and you hone leaders who can be leaders of tomorrow.
Ma'am, we visited France recently and I was amazed to see the architecture there. Like the people there have preserved their history and heritage so well that when I came back to India, it is a little bit sad to see how people vandalize our monuments in today's world. So how do you feel as a history and political science teacher when you see that?
I think you're very right here, Mishka, because but it's interesting to note that graffiti,
Yes.
which was there on walls and damaging walls, is something which is there even on in the pyramids of Egypt. So
Oh.
people have done it thousands of years ago. So it's something which is very typical to humankind, but rules and regulations matter, and implementation of the rules matter. And it's very important to preserve our heritage. If our heritage remains preserved, we remain preserved because we look back at our history. And even your recent controversies on the Aurangzeb's tomb and all these things which are coming up in India,
Yes.
history should remain as exactly what it is, history.
Okay.
It's a part of our lives, it was
Yes.
there in our lives, whether good or bad is a different issue. But the question is that history should remain history. It should remain way back in the past. You just have to pick up its lessons for the future.
Ma'am, so how do you think we stay connected to our roots?
I think we're constantly connected to our roots in our everyday lives, whether it's our clothes, it's our food, it's the languages we speak, the behavior that we have with each other. It's all connected to our roots and history. It's all there because we are after all culturally very rich as a land. So people will follow, and today I can see an amalgam of cultures. We are. It doesn't matter whether you're a Punjabi or a Bengali or a Gujarati or even an American or a Britisher or a German. Today we enjoy food from various parts of the world. We enjoy wearing clothes from various parts of the world, and we're interested in picking up their languages and their cultural bits. So I think it's a great, it's an evolving world and an integrating world that we see today.
Ma'am, I agree because in today's world we tend to respect each other's culture a little better and we understand, we are willing to learn their languages, we are willing to accept their rules and regulations in our country as well. And I think you're right, it keeps evolving and
Being culturally sensitive is very important.
I agree. And looking back at your history with Tagore International School, how did you feel on your first day of school and how do you feel right now?
So it felt like home. It felt like the place that I wanted to be in. And this school has been a fabulous learning experience. And I'm so proud of all my students who've been here with me. And I'm proud of the entire institution. It's a beautiful place to be.
Ma'am, I think it's our pleasure that we had such an amazing teacher to learn from, and I think your impact still remains in the school. That is why you have always made us feel like home here.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you, Mishka. That's very nice of you to say that.
So, one last question: why teaching? Like, why coming back to school again, learning history again with the students, and teaching them about morals, ethics?
I think you're born a teacher. It's not something that you will evolve into. You basically have a penchant for teaching. You enjoy teaching and sharing knowledge. So I've always loved to read and to share what I've read. So teaching became a very natural occupation. It was not something that I came into by duress. I came into it by choice. So it remained a passion for me throughout my life.
Ma'am, I think your work speaks for itself because it's quite evident that you're quite passionate about the field that you're in.
Oh yes, I'm very passionate and I love interacting with students. I love interacting with young minds because there's so much I learn from them.
Okay. So I think in your case it's quite true that once a teacher is always a teacher, and I think you'll still remain our history teacher and political science teacher, teaching us life lessons that are beyond our textbooks. So I would like to ask you for one last message or one last teaching that you would like to tell.
I think as a message I would like to say, stay curious. You must stay curious. I know there's an English adage that says curiosity kills the cat, but it's not, here it doesn't work. You must be curious. Each one of us, whether we are young or old, as Lord Krishna said, you should learn till the day you die. Every day should be a learning experience. And life has so much to offer. And grab hold of it with both hands. Learn as much as you can. And that is what I would say for my TIS, my students, that learn and be curious. That will help you in every possible, in a portion of your life will be very comfortable if you learn and you're curious.
Thank you, ma'am. I think you've made the learning experience so fun, and we have definitely learned how to stay curious, how to ask our doubts, because we always counted on you to answer our questions, and I think that still remains. You're just a call away, and we'll call you whenever we need to.
You're most welcome,
Yeah.
and I look forward to it. I look forward to keeping in touch with all of you, and I want to know, I'm very curious to know what you'll all do in future.
Yes, ma'am. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you back, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you,
been a
ma'am.
pleasure to be here.